Hi everyone. So, today I'm going to be super synthetic and talk about the re-evolution, which is really underway. Let me introduce myself, if you do not know me yet. My name is Galati. I am a futurist. That means that, in fact, I know. Say like that, it may seem weird, but I know the future in broad outline in advance. Of course, I could be wrong. That is, in terms of time, but giving you exact dates and to commit to timing dates is almost impossible. But as I explained in other video, in other live, the water always flows from the mountain to the sea. There can be at some point small hills that make it go up a little bit, but anyway things are going in a certain direction, and anyway the events at one time or another from the moment it exists in an energetic level, at the level of the energy that is the case, that is what I capture and what I also capture in the matter by hints of the small details. And when you start to see the details of the materialization, it is as if you see the first pebbles of a cathedral and you see the energy diagram of the cathedral. You know that at some point or another the cathedral will be built.
Et ce que je capte aussi dans la matière par des indices, des petits détails. Mais quand tu commences à voir les détails de la matérialisation, c'est comme si tu vois les premiers cailloux d'une cathédrale et que tu vois le schéma énergétique de la cathédrale, tu sais qu'à un moment donné ou à un autre, la cathédrale sera construite.
Here, I will speak a lot in images as a metaphor to help you put in place to have a clear vision of the future. I have synthesized what I want to share with you. You will see, it will be dense and I answer all the questions that were asked to me on Facebook. You know, it takes a lot of concentration to do this live. I can't answer the questions directly. I could do it in the future. I'm getting organized. I'll have to do it from my office, but maybe it's a little less fun, you know, it's a little less intimate than doing it from here, so it's your class. So here in the first part, I will give you clear images of what is happening, and based on what is happening what will happen, and then after I answer your questions. So, I took my little notes to tell you, please especially in comment use, as I'm going to do there the language of the birds beyond. You will see the hindsight, you know there is no coincidence in the things and yourself, in using the language of birds, it will allow you to distance yourself from the events, and as such it is already a cure. So, this language of birds, why? We gather beyond me another community around other people who express themselves on the situation what is passing horse. So I do not know if it is said in the plural, in singular it's Trojan horse. An extremely powerful Trojan horse. I don't know if you remember the Matrix's movie, but it is exactly the same phenomenon.
Au-delà de moi, d'autres communautés autour d'autres personnes qui s'expriment sur la situation, c'est quoi? C'est des chevaux. Alors, je ne sais pas si ça se dit au pluriel, je te le dis au singulier. C'est un cheval de Troie, et c'est un cheval de Troie extrêmement puissant. Je ne sais pas si tu te souviens du film Matrix, mais c'est exactement le même phénomène.
To end this introduction, I placed the observation that I had already made in 2019, as soon as the Coco Loco appeared. It is that the Coco Loco, in fact from the start, was a way of slowing down an attempt to control this ongoing soft revolution, that initially was apparent. Through the vests, with the pretty color of the sun, that you saw manifesting, not only of course in France, but you see that it was contagious many countries, and, in fact, all the narrative of the Coco Loco was beautiful to stop. It took a long time to stop this energy of evolution, and for two. Even if the control was already tempted to pass you to 2 big upper 3 in accelerated movement, and there it is our chance of precipitation to try summer in this planetary re-evolution, that suddenly they get their feet in the carpet is together. So, the liberation is sure, you see it, whatever happens, everyone takes some fresh air, everyone takes advantage of this beautiful spring, so I had this as your last live on the spring liberation. It is a reality today, and, even if we have fears and anticipation of a future confinement, whether it is by sting passport or, maybe, by other things, the next step is this re-evolution. And why I say it like that? Because, in fact, you are going to see that it will look like a lot of other real ones. Yes, it will be completely new, means it will take little bits of a lot of things, but it is very re-evolution of 2021 historically will be really unique in its kind. Maybe it will give it as concentrated. Galati helped me in this way. Because, you're going to see what I'm sharing with you, it's huge. So, in fact, you have an energetic convergence of a lot of movement. So, you can observe it, through all the flash mob dances.
Que ce soit par un pass vaccinul ou que ce soit par d'autres choses. La prochaine étape, c'est cette réévolution. Et pourquoi je dis ça comme ça? Parce que en fait, tu vas voir, ça va ressembler à beaucoup d'autres réelles révolutions, mais ça sera complètement neuf. C'est-à-dire ça va prendre des petits bouts de beaucoup de choses, mais cette réévolution de 2021, historiquement, sera vraiment unique en son genre. Peut-être qu'elle donnera... enfin bref, restons centrés et concentrés. Galatée, aide-moi dans ce sens. Parce que tu vas voir ce que je te partage, c'est énorme. Donc, en fait, tu as une convergence énergétique de beaucoup de mouvements. Donc tu peux l'observer, toutes les flash mobs danser encore.
So, of course, these flash mob will multiply, but in this convergence, you will also have, for example, the rave parties, which are clandestine, in a spontaneous way, and quite simply the gatherings, the parties. So, these spontaneous events will not only multiply, not only gain momentum, but you also have a converging energy, they will converge. Why there are some who will play on darts? Why? Why? Why is it not? Why not everyone goes down the street immediately to stop? But why? Quite simply because it takes time for things to materialize at best, and then obviously it's a re-evolution. This would not have changed, so obviously there will be violence. It's sad, but it's clear that there will be overflows, but the timing that is put in place, it is so that it is as large as possible and softer as possible. And so, this language of the birds, you see the police who are also in dramatic situation. When you saw the medical profession split into two with emeritus professor who spoke, as you saw even at the political level, even if there are only 2 or 3, at the level of the medias, even if we only have 2 or 3 who have spoken, by divided in relation to the immobility and the servile aspect of the profession mainly, at the level of the police, like that, it is in the process of being done.
Comme tu as vu, le corps médical se scindait en deux, avec des professeurs émérites qui prenaient la parole. Comme tu as vu, même au niveau des politiques, même s'il n'y en a que 2 ou 3, au niveau des médias, même s'il n'y en a que 2 ou 3 qui ont pris la parole en se divisant par rapport à l'immobilisme et à l'aspect servile de leur profession majoritairement. Mais au niveau de ceux qui ont la police, pareil, c'est en cours, c'est en train de se faire.
In short, for what is art of the month of May, therefore indeed this speech of retirees who are far from having charenties, if you want, is extraordinary, because, obviously we all have waited the Savior, you know it. I will perhaps not speak about it in this live. I will make other speeches on this subject. Obviously saviors arrive, and one in particular, it happens not to save us, it happens as a leader at a given time, for confirming the gathering, for access, the gathering, and to contribute to the reorganization of the same, and to assemble, and you see, but it's not true since we're already saving ourselves, so that's why it's happening afterwards. I remain free of charge, so, if you want to know what is happening, what we are going through is the energy organization, but more and more concrete and material of our gathering. They have sought to divide us, they have sought that we will fight toward each other, and more we come together. So, the month of May, it is this gathering that operates. They want to hide the effects, not anyway, it comes out everywhere. It's like a flu which is impossible to control or to bury. In June, this repetita is how I see the future often. I have always explained to you a spiral CD, so history repeats itself, yes, but never everything quite identically, and when you see it in words, it's extraordinary. In fact, you are passing over a past event, so you have elements that are similar. May, June, you see, but I put it a little differently. So if you want a certain month of June, we had a disembarkation, now we will have an overflow. A certain month of June, we had fires around the disembarkation, but now we are going to have fires around the overflow.
Comment je vois le futur? Souvent, j'ai souvent expliqué, hein, c'est des spirales, donc l'histoire se répète, oui, mais jamais tout à fait de façon identique. Et quand tu le vois dans les mots, c'est extraordinaire. Donc tu vois, en fait, tu passes au-dessus d'un événement passé, donc tu as des éléments qui sont similaires, tu vois mai, juin, mais un petit peu différemment. Donc si tu veux, un certain mois de juin, on avait un débarquement, là on va avoir un débordement. Un certain mois de juin, on avait eu des feux autour d'un débarquement. Là, on va avoir des feux autour de débordements.
As there will be a lot of spontaneous parties, and, as there was, a lot like during the prohibition of interdiction about alcohol, there is a lot of overflow that unfortunately will use strong spirits, and, as much wine is divine, as strong alcohol can be satanic, that is to be a little over the top, Some spirits of small wine growers know, of course, but here you have to be careful because in some overflow compared to alcohol, unfortunately, there can be slippages, so one warned is worth two. So, in the continuation of what I noted, and the good news, it will be a huge shit. Here it is, that's it. So for me, I'm betting on that because I took my plane ticket there for the beginning of July. We can have a cancellation for vaccinal at the last moment, but really at the last moment. That can happen before summer, not sure. It can happen anyway. Me, it is out of the question that a few darts or that a few people who took non-regular darts. Me, I said for a while that people who had received darts for their loved ones could be problematic, and it starts to be confirmed when you get information from a doctor who speak about these subjects. So, it's going to be a big mess, but it's also going to be energetically a superb party. I have always noted to give you an image. Summer will be hot, and it was such a constraint. Put you pictures of the roaring 20s, the release of 45, and there it will be.
Donc, ça va être un gros bordel, mais ça va être aussi énergétiquement une superbe fête. Tu vois, j'ai noté, toujours pour te donner une image, l'été sera chaud. Ça va être, mais, tu vois, ça a été une telle contrainte, tu vois. Mets-toi des images des années folles, de la libération de 45, voilà, ça va être ça.
And beyond being French, that's where it would be magic. That means that France, who has been so damaged, who has been so soiled. I'm talking to you about the repentance in relation to many things that France had done well. France will shine again at the height of what it deserves. And when you see this flash mob on Danse Encore, I'm starting to get the first few grains of sand, but it's going to be huge to follow. So, get ready, that's what I want to tell you. I really want to do a live short and synthetic. Be prepared for the big coming of historical events.
Donc soyez prêts, c'est ça que je veux te dire, hein, tu vois, je veux faire vraiment un live court et synthétique. Soyez prêts, des événements historiques sont réellement en cours.
So, for my contemporaries, for those who follow me, I created a private sharing that I improve regularly. You saw it on this channel. We added in the private sharing some exercises to be friends with money again, because a lot of being awakened in the situation, and many of our contemporaries, quite simply the anxieties and the old afraid of missing, of the past or not spent, that they have already missed, which makes this relationship to money today become problematic. And to believe that we will be able to live on love and fresh water, of course, it's a reality, but we must also live from our actions and as a means of exchange between our actions. So, in the private sharing, I added these exercises to allow you to manage his transitions well. I also added a protocol for the detox of stress and beyond the fat. It's all that we have accumulated in recent months, even in recent years. We have taken heavy anyway. So, it's important now to clean up on yourself, especially on the occasion of this change of seasons and everything that's going on. So there too, I put the protocol in my private share. Especially I put the protocol to make it a business because it is better to detox with 10, and when you are in good organizer, it is much easier to put in place. It can become a real business. You do understand that the health field will be completely organized, and the best health is to take care of the temple, which is our body. You clean your house, so you have to clean your body too, and it's not a medicine that will do that.
Parce que c'est mieux de détoxer à 10 et quand tu es un bon organisateur, c'est assez simple à mettre en place et ça peut devenir un vrai business. Puisque tu le comprends, hein, le domaine de la santé va complètement se réorganiser et la meilleure santé, c'est de prendre soin du temple qui est notre corps. Tu nettoies ta maison, il faut nettoyer son corps aussi. C'est pas un médoc qui va le faire.
And at the end of my private sharing, as there are different stages, we begin by being good on a daily basis with little tips to sleep well. We clean the past with a Canadian therapist in exercise of 15 minutes, who allows to clean up big trauma, and I share my keys for you too. Guess concrete the future by turning into your hands into a GPS. And at the very end, I share with you the heart of onion, the heart of all lies. Everyone is not ready.
Je te partage le cœur de l'oignon, le cœur de tous les mensonges. Et quand tout le monde n'est pas prêt, hein,
the link to my private share, I will put it just below. You go see. You have a free challenge of 5 days with a small video the everyday to already explain to you elements of this process to reinvent oneself. Since if we want to reinvent the world, and we will have to be invented the world after it is very soft re-evolution, and so it is essential already to reinvent our daily life, to reinvent ourselves. I put you the link to register for challenge of my private sharing of 5 days completely free, without commitment, with good heart, to share information in private below when I will stop the live. I tell you very soon what I will do for the continuation. Like you know, as a futurist, I am part of these historical events, making little capsules, little videos. We will take a topical element, and I will detail them according to the future, as you see Danse Encore. I will give you the image, it will become a summer hit, and then the national and international, and then a historic event. I will take the subject and detail it, and I am going to draw them to you to give you this clear and especially reassuring vision of the future.
Puis un hymne international, et puis un événement historique. Voilà. Et on va prendre des éléments au fur et à mesure où ils se passent, comme je sais le faire en tant que futurologue, et je vais te les étirer pour te donner cette vision claire et surtout rassurante du futur.
I know we can have hard events, it has always evolved positively to the extent that we arrive, even if we are afraid, to be aware already that we are afraid and to move forward even if we are afraid. That's what I wish you. Private sharing in down on comment.
Partage privé en dessous. Je raccroche avant.
Ciao.
Il continue avec ceci. Ciao.